Hi there, FlossTube Stitchers. As you know, I sometimes film in different areas and I may need to rearrange pictures or change it to the current season. And I do a little video check and sound check ahead of time to make sure that I know what you're seeing, because what I see on the screen now is smaller than what you're seeing. And so I sometimes have to rearrange the camera. Today I'm at a little bit of a weird angle because I'm trying to avoid glare on some of the pieces that have glass. But I do a little video check and a little sound check ahead of time. And I have to admit that a couple minutes ago I said, "Hi, pupsters." No, that's what I call my dogs. So when I come home from work, that's how I greet them. "Hi, pupsters." I know my audience. You are my FlossTube Stitchers, and I will be showing you cross stitch today. Okay, the first set of things is what I promised you last week, models that I ran out of time to show. And these are by Needle Bling Designs, a series called We Welcomes. They were all stitched and framed by local customer Carole Leonard, who if you've been watching me for a while, you'll recognize that name as somebody who loans us a lot of models. She tends to prefer monthlies. We do have some other things of hers too, but she's known as our monthly queen. And she also provides a lot of models done on Aida, which we really appreciate. Customers can sometimes be intimidated by all of the things done on linen, and we don't like to be fabric snobs here. It's just what people were loaning us. So we were really happy when a number of years ago she offered to loan us some models, and they're all done on Aida, so it works out great. So we have a couple of hers from this same series. That is the August Sunflower. This is the November Acorn. And then I can't see it, but I think you can see it. The October Scarecrow. Can't remember what September is now, but I don't think we have that one. She either hasn't stitched it or she didn't care for it and hasn't come up with a substitute motif. But anyway, here's the rest of the year. And I believe the first couple that she stitched were on 16 count. These are on 14, so they fill up the frame a little bit more. And they're all on different colors, which is kind of fun to do. There's a limited color palette in each design, so it's really easy to change colors and pick a different fabric background. This is the January Snowman hat. February Heart. March Shamrock. April Easter Basket. May Beehive. June House. And the regular welcome for July is flip-flops, and this was a separate patriotic welcome, and she chose to do this one for her series. And then the last one is the December Santa, and this happens to be a frame that has the easel. She only bought one easel back with the idea that they would all be framed and ready to go, but she could attach the easel back to whatever one she was showing for that month. So there's just one of those. No sense in buying 12 easel backs, right? Alrighty. And then we have another series of new models from a customer, Lynn Saloy, and they also are on Aida. And these are from Little House Needlework's Farmhouse Christmas, and she stitched 7 of the 9 in the series. It was like a tic-tac-toe shape, a 9 square, and the middle square was a quilt block. So she decided to do only the blocks with scenes in them. And one of them she didn't do. I don't think it's because she didn't like it. She's either still stitching it or she ran out of room in her display and decided just to do these 7. So wrote down the name so I wouldn't forget. This is Little Red Barn. Oh, and they look like hot pads. Isn't that a cute finish? They're not hot pads. They don't have the proper materials inside that you could actually use them that way. But because she wanted to hang them in her kitchen, that's what she wanted them to look like. And then I wanted to just point out that she used different color trim. She only had so much of some of the trim and she was afraid she was going to run out, so she started alternating, and they look good together. All right, so then the second one is Horsin' Around. This is Grandpa's Pickup. Dairy Darlin'. Pinewood Farm. Cock-a-doodle Doo. And Baba Black Sheep. And I'll put a picture at the end. I'm going to show it on social media eventually too, but just for now so that you can see how she has them displayed in her kitchen. I'll put a picture at the end. Okay, so that takes care of that. Then my whip from the last 2 weeks actually became a finish last night. Let's see, I will show you. This is Bent Creek's Autumn from their zipper series. And this is my finish with just a few changes. So if you've watched the last couple of videos, I did brighten up the colors a little bit. Even though the kit came fully fitted with the floss, I still decided to change some things, and I'll just put that floss in my stash. So it was done all in floss, and I like their kits that are done with pearl cotton, so I decided to switch it to pearl cotton, which is the number 5 is the proper size for this fabric, obviously, because they've done that before. But for this one, for some reason, they just did floss. So I changed some of it to pearl. 3033 I changed to 712 in pearl. 3021 I changed to 838 in pearl. And then the pumpkin itself, I decided I wanted to make it over dyed for some more interest, and I used a Classic Colorworks. I kept the Lancaster red the same for the leaves, and I kept the 420 of the dirt. Shall we call it dirt or fall grass? I kept that color the same because that was one of the last things I did, and I knew that would look good. And then the leaves, both colors of leaves, this is DMC 729. Both colors of the leaves and the grass part I did in 4-ply DMC floss, just for a little textural contrast. But I wanted to talk about a few things. First of all, you might notice that it looks more like a rectangle. So the original was advertised as being square. They said it fit in a 7.5-inch frame. But you know how linen is woven, and this is looser woven than, say, you know, a 32 or a 36. So the square turned out a little bit more rectangular. And I knew it right away because this is the first square I stitched. I don't know why. I just decided it would be, maybe I was tired that night and I just wanted to do something simple. So I started with that square, and I could tell that it wasn't a perfect square. But if I had stitched it with the fabric in this orientation, I would have gotten a wider, shorter design. And I decided that, you know, if I had to choose, this is the way I would want it anyway. So that was the first thing I noticed. And then there's a little error on the chart. It shows an extra row of space between these two blocks than all the rest. So I fixed that immediately. It didn't affect anything else. So I thought, well, that was fortunate that I started with that block so that I noticed that right away. And then this block was not charted full. It was missing a couple stitches so that it wasn't touching the leaf. But these two leaves are actually stitched into the square. So I didn't really understand the reason for that. So I just made that a whole square, and I think it looks fine. And was there something else I wanted to tell you about this? Now, oh, okay. So it called for I put it in here because I didn't want to lose it. I put it back in the zipper. It called for a Jabco acorn which is adorable, but it's thin and fine and the holes are small, and I may or may not have had a few issues in the past with trying to secure a fine button like that could break. Customers have broken them sewing them on. So I wanted something a little sturdier on this, something that I didn't have to worry about going through the thick thread and the thick fabric. And in my stash at home, I had this Mill Hill acorn button, so I used that instead. And I think I'm going to stick with this idea, even though I didn't find one this week, but I'm going to stick with the idea that I would like this finished piece on one of those taller pumpkins. I'm hoping for a white one. I could always paint it, but I've seen them in several different colors at some of the big box craft stores, but I couldn't find one this week. So I don't know if I'm going to wait until next year to finish it or if I'll still find one at another store. But instead of framing them, I have a few others from the same series for fall, and they're all framed. And I just thought it might be nice to have one of them done differently. So that's my goal. And that leads me to talk about my vintage stitch, which is also a Bent Creek, done on the 18 count raw linen with pearl cotton. And in this case, the button is wooden. This is called Pumpkins. It's from their zipper series. And I didn't write anything on the back. I never do. So I don't remember when I stitched it, but I've been using this in my Thanksgiving display for just years and years. So those will look nice together someday. And they're all still available. I think I have both of them coming. I know for sure I ordered the autumn kit, so they should be coming with my expo order. So that is I don't have a current whip right now. Well, I kind of do, but I didn't bring anything to show you. But that's my finish and my vintage. While I was out hunting for a pumpkin, I went to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and Big Lots. And Big Lots was the only place I had success this time. And I found some finishing haul. So this was $3. It's just a block. And I really liked the plaid. I guess that's a plaid. And I thought, I could just put a Halloween design in the middle. Of course, it's cute as it is, but I thought that would make a really, when can you get a finishing thing for $3? So that makes up for all the custom framing along the way. So I'm excited about finding some way to use that. And then I also found this, and it's an easel, and this is $4. And of course, it's adorable the way it is, but I could see just filling up that whole space with something. And then it already has the orange easel showing, so it would be good for fall or Halloween. And this was only $4, and they had a ton. So I was able to pick through them to make sure that it didn't wobble, because, they just kind of slap these things together probably, and sometimes they're a little wonky. So, but I stopped at number 5, so I didn't go too crazy, but I did enjoy having a variety to look through to make sure that it was gonna stand up straight. So that's that. And then this one has the extra added bonus of having a hanger. So you could put it on a door hanger, you could put it on a door knob, you could put it on a hook, and it's all set to go. I didn't have to look at these too carefully because I know I'm gonna fill that whole thing in, so it doesn't matter. I just paid attention to make sure there were no scratches on the orange part, but I just love that it had the beaded hanger too. And this was $8. So if you wait till after the season, if there's anything left, they'll be even cheaper, but those are great prices. That was, well, one more item, but my whole order was only 20 bucks. So I also found this ribbon. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but you know how much I love denim blue. And I have a white pumpkin collection. So I thought this would help tie in the blue in my house with all my fall decorations. So I'm actually kind of excited about maybe making my first big fancy bow. I'll have to watch a tutorial or something. So that's my haul. Then I'm going to show you a couple items from Expo. I know these were included in my video, but because it's kind of hard to judge size in those commercially photographed scenarios, it was from Stitch Modern's website or the email, that she sent to the shop, or what was in her Expo booth. But, where she shows one item that's perfectly photographed, but there's nothing else around it, so you can tell size. So I thought I would show them to you so you could gauge the size. The first thing are the foam comfort grips, and you put those on the screw of your hoop so that they don't catch on your thread or scratch your hand or whatever. And they grip nicely. You can still tighten and loosen the screw when they're on. They stay on. They're soft, squishy foam. And let's see. Yeah, it just says pinch and twist to tighten or loosen the screw. So you can leave those on while you're doing that part of it. So I thought those were fun. And I've already forgotten the price of all these things, $3.25. That's that. Then I'm going to show you a line finder. And these are, I did look this up, and I don't know why I can't remember, $6. I don't have the order priced yet, so I'm trying to go by memory. So they're magnetic, but it's really thin. So she says it's not meant to take the place of the magnets on your magnet board. This alone is probably not going to hold up, a chart. It's meant to be used in conjunction with it, but it gives you an area to highlight where you're stitching so you can keep track of it. And it also gives you some opportunities to test your fabric count. And I think it says flexible and easy to reposition. Yeah, I think that's all you need to know about that. Then there's floss bobbin rings. And I kept telling myself I was actually going to try this. No, I'm not gonna do it on camera. But I never did. You can take these apart and attach them together to make a bigger ring, but I wanted to show you how big the ring is, because when you saw it in the video, you might have thought it was one of those big 6-inch metal rings that you can find at the hardware store. So these are just, a little more fun than metal. They come in all the bright colors. And the bobbin rings are $4.50, and there's 6. You get they're all the same colors in each set. Okay, then there are floss drops, and there's 3 different styles. There's 20 in a pack, and it also comes with its own twist. What is it called again? Twist lock bobbin ring. So it comes with one. And these, I think these are the farmhouse flowers. And then those are all the designs that come in that one. These are the Scandi flowers. And those are the different designs there. And then these are the ginghams and hexies. And I thought this would be a good one to use to point out the features of the floss drop. So this big area is where you would put the hank or skein to use it. And then the hole at the top would be where you would attach it to the ring. And then I don't know if I've ever had floss drops that had the extra circle on the side, but this is where you would put the remainder of a 6-stranded plied yard that you took off here, and then maybe you only used 1 or 2 strands. And so you can keep track of it, have it handy, and not have it get twisted with the rest of it. You can put that through that hole. So I thought that was a really nice feature. And there's 20 in a pack, and they are $12. Last but not least are the stickers. So there's 2 different colors of Floss Boss. And then there's actually one with all skeins of floss. cross stitch makes everything better. Every day I'm stitching a hoop with a floral design. And then the last one is maker's gonna make, but first procrastinate. So I am going to give a sticker of your choice and a set of the bobbin rings. And you don't actually have to say what sticker you want now. We'll just wait and see who the generator picks, and then we'll have a private chat about what that person wants. But tell me where you would put the sticker. They're like a vinyl clingy type of a thing. So tell me where you would put it, and then you'll be in the drawing for next week. And let's see, speaking of the drawing, and what did I do with my list? I moved my list again. Be right back. I write too many things on my index card, and sometimes I have to walk away with it to do something else. So I forgot to bring it back. So I'm going to preface last week's giveaway with a little story because it makes sense, at least in my brain. So I answered the phone one day last week. It was a long distance number, and I didn't necessarily recognize or look at the name that carefully. I just answered the phone, and it was Kim Goldman from the Contented Stitcher. I had never spoken with her before. We've watched each other's videos and commented and that sort of thing, and I might have been on her mind because I had just commented on a few of her earlier videos this year. I'm just trying to get caught up, and she had shown a really great one with all of her 2021 finishes, and I was telling her how far behind I felt, and she said, you know, you can watch videos at twice the speed and get through them faster. And then we giggled because nobody should watch either of us at double the speed because we talk fast anyway. So we had to laugh about that. We were fangirling, and we had a little mutual admiration society going, but we also were very aware that that was an issue with us speaking quickly. So anyway, when I was showing the charts from Stitching with the Housewives last time, I said the name of the chart is Haunted Trail, but because it says Trick or Treat, tell me what your favorite treat is. And I know I was speaking really quickly because I could see the minutes on my screen, and I felt like I was running out of time. But the first couple comments that I read when I got home last night were spruce, maple, oak, pine, and I'm like, oh shoot, they didn't even understand what I said. I said treat, not tree. But don't worry, anyone who said a tree still got in the drawing. But I just thought that was funny because we had that conversation and that had already happened. So anyway, the three names that were chosen by the random generator were Kathleen Kausick, who is a local customer. She said her and her daughter's favorite treat are peanut butter cups. That was a big favorite in our family as well. And then Jan McCarson says her favorite treat are turtles. And I love turtles. I really love turtles. And there's a candy company, Josh Early in Pennsylvania, near where my dad's from. And they make a turtle with a pretzel. And I asked one of our local candy companies once if they would ever consider doing something like that. And they looked at me like I was crazy. No, a turtle and a pretzel together is really good. Anyway, I love turtles too, Jan. And then the third name is Patricia Gerard. And she said her favorite treat is hosting a party and seeing people that she hasn't seen for a while. I assumed she meant a Halloween party, but not necessarily. But she said that she can and does eat chocolate whenever she wants. So she doesn't need it to be that kind of treat. Anyway, so those are the names, and they've all been notified by me commenting on their comment, but here's another reminder about that. And I think that's it. I did all the stitching. I did all the models. Yeah, I think that's all I need to say, except there probably won't be a video next week because I will be photographing the Medina Needle Art Show, and it's a big job to edit it and make sure that all of the charts have the designer's name, and sometimes stitchers don't remember what they stitched, so the entry forms aren't as complete as I would like them to be, and I want to tell you what everything is, so I spend a lot of time editing that part of it. So unless I have time to do something different earlier so that it's ready to show that night, but on Sunday when I'm normally here, I will be photographing the show. So thanks for watching. I know a lot of new people are here. I really appreciate it. And in case I didn't say it at the beginning, my name is Shelley, and this is Just Stitching Inc. in Strongsville, Ohio. See you next time. Bye-bye.